What it do, Sawtys? It's your girl Caitlin Morgan, and we are back with another coloring video. And today we are going to be talking about J. Cole's new album, The Fall Off. Let me tell y'all, I have been listening to this album since last Monday. Now, when he first came out with the album in February, I was going through a lot, okay? I had went through a car accident. Somebody hit me from behind. That was January 10th. In February, I was going through a lot, like emotionally and physically. I was in pain. I did not feel like listening to new music. When it comes to listening to new music, I have to be in the mode to receive everything that the person is saying, everything that the artist is saying. I have to be able to receive that and figure out and pick out what my favorite songs are going to be and what songs I'm going to keep returning to, what songs go into what playlist. It's a whole thing. So I just can't keep, listening to new music because I have to let the old music simmer, So I was not in the mood to let anything simmer. I just wanted to listen to the songs that I've been listening to, and I wanted to keep it there. But when I got back to work last Monday, I was like, you know what? I think now is the best time for me to listen to his album. And that was literally one of the best decisions in my life. I love this album so much. First, before we get into the album, I'm going to tell y'all how I learned to love J. Cole so much, how I have grown to love this man so much. First, I was introduced to J. Cole through BET. BET has a platform where they allow newer artists to come onto the scene, get more exposure. And so he was a part of that like newer artistry. And I remember seeing his Who Dat video on 106 in Park. And me and my sister Shelby fell in love with him. We were like, oh, he cute. We were like, he is so cute. Let's, see what his songs are like. And after Who Dat, I didn't really listen to a lot of J. Cole songs, to be honest. I didn't even listen to the album that Who Dat was on. At the time, I did not have an avenue to listen to new albums because I didn't have the phone. I was an Android girl, but I did not have the capacity in that phone to listen to new music. So I was still downloading music from the internet. And I only could do it like so much because, when you download music from YouTube, when you used to download music from YouTube, it could get a virus. A virus could come onto your phone from downloading music. And so I was like, I'm not going to keep doing that. That's a no for me, dog. I'm not going to do that. So I went some time without listening to J. Cole's music. And I think it was my either 9th or 10th grade year. No, it had to be my 9th grade year in high school. And I had gotten a new phone. This phone had Pandora on it. And if you guys don't know what Pandora is, it's like a radio streaming platform where you can listen to new music. So I was like, you know what? Why not? I said I love J. Cole. I'm going to listen to his music, right? And by this time, J. Cole had came out with another album called Sideline. And Sideline had all of his like singles on it. It had Nobody's Perfect. It had And We Got a Good Thing, and Know If I'ma See You Again. I forgot the name of that song. It also had Done Got Me Up All Night. I was drinking in love songs. She got me up all night. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, it had that song on there. It also had Can't Get Enough. I need that. I can't get enough. Can't get enough. I need that. I can't get enough. But what you got? Good God, you hit the spot. Try to let go, but I just cannot. Said, don't you stop. I need that. Yeah, it had those 4 songs on there. And I was in love with those songs. Y'all can see it now. Y'all can tell. I will listen to those songs. No one back and forward. Literally can rap those songs all day, every day. And I love those songs. And I was like, okay, this is it. I love it. And so he came out with another album by the time I was like, on Pandora. He came out with another album called Born Sinners. And I said, if I love this man so much, I need to love him enough to listen to an album. Because I used to just be a singles girly. I used to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to just listen to the singles. This is at the point where I was getting into albums heavy. So I remember me listening to that album and the Nothing Was the Same album at the same time. They came out around the same time. It was very similar, but I was listening to both of them at the same time. And so when I heard Born Sinners, oh my, let me tell you about Born Sinners. So I was listening to Born Sinners every single day. There are still songs on my playlist from Born Sinners because I loved it so much. I love that album. It's like amazing to me. So Cole just makes me want to create. Like listening to J.Cole has always made me want to create. And at the time, I was still like writing songs. I still write songs now, but at the time I was just going over everything that I used to write, like all of my 13-year-old songs. And he had inspired me to write something new, something better. And so I was like, you know what? Yeah, he really got me into my like storytelling bag. So I was listening to Born Center for a long time and I loved it. And then he came out with 2014 Forest Hill Drive. And I remember the exact thing that I was doing when he came out with that album. Actually, when he came out with Apparently, because Apparently was the single to the album. So I remember what I was doing when Apparently came out. So I was in my room and I was on YouTube and I just so happened to see that he had a new video out and it was called Apparently. And so I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and watch it. So I went and I watched it and it literally changed my life. I remember running to my sister and I was like, J.Cole has a new song out. J.Cole has a new song out. And my sister is a very big like Kendrick fan. And so she was like, oh, you got a new song out. That's nice. That's cool or whatever. But nobody was as hype as I was to listen to 2014 Forest Hills Drive. And I remember Apparently so well. I was playing Apparently for a very long time, and then when the album finally dropped, I was listening to the album every single day. Every day I was listening to 2014 Forest Hill Drive, and it was the storytelling in Forest Hills Drive, it just blew my mind. I was like, this man don't miss. It literally blew my mind how he was able to tell a story in Wet Dreams. Oh my gosh, I wanted that song to continue. Every time that song ends, every time I listen to it and it just ends, I'm like, boy, you need to tell us how the relationship went. I want to know. It was just, his storytelling was that good, and it made me fall in love with like real rappers that can like for real tell a story. And I have been hooked on Cole ever since then. And his artistry, the way he conducts himself, the way that he just is as a person, I really admire him so much. Like, I admire him so much. And reacting to J. Cole's Pride album, I believe it's like Pride is the Devil or whatever, I forgot the name of that album, was one of my first reaction videos. If you go back in my YouTube, J. Cole was one of the first one, him and Nicki Minaj. And you can tell that I love that man that much, because when that album dropped, I was like, oh yeah, I need to go and listen to it and react to it. But now we are moving on to The Fall Off. Y'all, we are moving on to The Fall Off, and it is an amazing album. We are going to go through the entire track list, and I'm going to tell you guys how I feel about it. All right? Okay, so before we get into the track list, here is some information that you need to know. So this album was a 2-part album. So if it was in CD form, you would have 2 CDs. One CD was dedicated to the 29-year-old J. Cole. When J. Cole was 29, he was either in the middle of the success of 2014 Forest Hills Drive, or he was at the end of the success of 2014 Forest Hills Drive. Regardless, he was that guy. Cole was at the top of his game. He was that guy when he was 29. And the second part of the album, the second disc, is when he's 39. Basically, the now J. Cole, what he knows now and how he's feeling now. So let's talk about disc one. Disc one has so many freaking hits. I mean, I literally love disc one, and it could be because I'm 28 and he was talking from his perspective of being a 29-year-old. So I don't know, but I have so many favorites from this one, and my favorites are 2-6, Poor Thing, Safety, Legacy, Who the F Is You, Bombs in the Ville, Drum and Bass, and The Let Out, which is basically the entire first CD, is my favorite, excluding the Future song. But I really do like the Bruns Road Blues. I really do like that song, so we gonna put that one in there. That's featuring Future and Tim's. But that first album really gave you a glimpse of who J. Cole was at the time. He states in one of his songs that he didn't want to come home. He felt distant from how he grew up. He felt distant from everybody and everything because of his success, and he barely came home because it was like, I'm in this area that I wanted to be in. I wanted to be J. Cole. I wanted to be this person, and when I finally have that success, he just kind of left the Ville at where they were at. You know, it wasn't like he completely forgot them, because he's never forgotten the Ville, but it was like he just knew that he wanted to be greater and do greater and stay within that moment. And so he talked about his childhood in the, I think it's Bruns Road Blues. He talked about his childhood and how the absent father figure in his life kind of made him feel like he had to do a lot of things earlier, i.e. having sex, and how people would pressure him to have sex when nobody taught him about what it was and what it could do, you know. He even talked about how his mom was there, but she also wasn't there because, the love of her life, I'm assuming, walked out on her, and she's having to deal with that while taking care of both him and his brother. And that's a lot to deal with. Being a single mother is a lot. And so he kind of grew up in that era, and it was hard for him. He also talked about in Poor Thing, he was spitting in Poor Thing. He talked about how people back home did not even like him, and he didn't even know their names. And Who the F Is You in Poor Thing, he doesn't know these people. Well, in Poor Thing, he was saying like he knew who they were. He knew of them, but not really who they were. And Who the F Is You, he really don't know that person. He's like, who are you dissing me? Like, what? Who are you? I don't know you. I don't even know you. We didn't even like do anything together for you to be dissing me like this. And I think those records were coming from a place of hurt. And let me tell you why. Because he felt offended that the people he knew back home, they were not supporting him in the way that he thought they would. They were not giving him the embrace like he thought they would, because he's stated multiple times he's from the Ville. This is who he is. This is what he reps. And that should be enough for them, but it wasn't. People were dissing him, and he did not like it. In Drum and Bass, he was talking about, I think Drum and Bass was like a conglomeration of people he didn't know, the conglomeration of people he did know, the people that showed fake love to him, the people that kind of prey on your downfall when you're successful. I think he was talking about how it's people he kind of grew up with that know of him, that really didn't know him, that, knew he was from the Ville, people, maybe even younger people younger than him, that just showed fake love only because he was around, not because they really loved him. And drum and bass leads you into the Let Out, which is honestly, the Let Out is one of those songs where he really like paints a picture. The Let Out in Safety, we're gonna get to Safety in a minute, but the Let Out really paints a picture of how in your own city they will try to do harm to you because you are doing good. And in that moment it happened, he was distracted by somebody who did not want him in the beginning, because he says that the girl he's always wanted but never could obtain her was starting to talk to him. And that also comes from like the whole drum and bass song too, because this was somebody that did not want you at first, and yet you're giving them the time of day, not understanding the type of danger you're in. And I think it's all kind of like poetic how the person he was chasing, like the thing that he was chasing, ends up being his downfall, and it can kind of go to his career. Him constantly chasing that lifestyle, that career could eventually be his downfall. And yeah, those are really good songs, really deep songs you should listen to. But I think my top favorite song out of the first album would have to be Safety. And the reason I love Safety so much is because it really does a good job of storytelling. It really does a good job of showing you where Cole was at. And Cole raps it in the perspective of his best friend who's writing him a letter. And he's done this before. And in this letter, the best friend is like, oh, I know we haven't caught up. Here's what's been going on. People been sneak dissing you. Some people have died. And at the end of the letter, he's like, could you just come to the funeral of one of our friends? And even though I know it may be awkward, even though I know it may be weird, it would mean a lot to me and to the family of the friend for you to show up. Just show up. We're not asking you for money. We're not asking you to rap 1,000 songs. We're just asking you to show up, because this is the Cole that I know. The Cole the Jermaine that I know would show up regardless of what he had going on. And that first CD ends with Lonely at the Top, where he's talking about how he used to look at these major rappers and how they were at the top, and one day he aspired to be them, and now that he is them, he has nobody to look up to on what to do and how to deal with personal life and how to deal with being from the streets but not being of the streets, but still maintaining humble. He doesn't have anybody to talk to, and it's lonely at the top, and that's how he felt during that time. And so that leads you into 39 intro. Oh my gosh. 39 intro. Cole snapped. He literally snapped on 39 intro. I swear to you, 39 intro is amazing. Because the thing with 39 intro is it starts off really slow, very melodic, kind of like Apparently, very slow and melodic. He's talking about maybe his wife or maybe music in the form of a woman. And he's saying like, I know we met before. I know that we've been with each other in a past life, and I love this. I love being with you, or whatever. He could be talking about music. He could be talking about his wife. And then he comes in and the illest verse. It's like, I know Cole can rap. I know he can rap. But when he does rap, I'm always amazed. I'm literally so amazed. So the 39 intro takes you into The Fall Off Is Inevitable, which is an amazing song. This man, Cole, is talking about his life backwards. He starts off as a really old man, and then it goes backwards to when he's a baby. And it is literally so amazing how he wrote it. Like, y'all just got to listen to that, because I don't even know how to describe it for real, how like impactful the verse was, because it literally tells the story of his life backwards. And that man pen game is just amazing. After the fall off is inevitable, it goes into the villist, which is one of my favorite songs. I can say that all of them are my favorite song, but really the villist, like, it's amazing. I love it. But the village, it talks about how your dreams will come true, but it won't save you from whatever you're running from. You people put a lot of stock in what they're hoping for, what they're wishing for. And once those dreams come true, you realize that there's still some emptiness because you're working so hard trying to get to the next level, that you experience emptiness once you obtain that. And so Cole just talks about how it's the getting to the dream, it takes hard work, but it is fairly easy. It's the work you have to do after obtaining that dream. Then we go into Old Dog. Carolina did. Okay, and that samples Petey Pablo, and Petey Pablo is also a feature on the song. And I think this was really just a Carolina like anthem. He's like, I just want to shout out all of the Carolinas, both North and South Carolina. People don't know about us. You know, you only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rappers may come out of here, but we real over here. It's really just an anthem, and I love that song because it really just get me pumped. You know, I just want to start, you know, throwing my shirt, waving my shirt above my head. And then we get to the song of the album. Oh my gosh. After Old Dog comes Life Sentence. And after life sentence comes Only You. Both Life Sentence and Only You are about his wife. And let me tell you, Life Sentence is literally my song. It's the first song that I kept like on repeat, that it got stuck in my head, because I love Life Sentence so much. Like it, I really do love when J. Cole talks about his wife, and I love when he talks about how he loves her. And Life Sentence, I love how he flipped something that's typically negative and he made it positive. Like, I'm doing life with this person. I love this person so much. And Only You also expresses his love for his wife. He has so many songs on here that I think are dedicated to her, but it is, yeah, I love both of those songs, honestly. Only You is such a good song. Then we go into Man Up Above, where he's telling it in a perspective of one of his friends that got locked up or is facing time, and how people usually turn to religion when they're in a low place, you know. And it just basically describes how his friend was going through whatever they were going through, and how they had to turn back to God to help them out of this situation. It's a very good story to listen to. And some of these songs on here are more stories than they are like of songs, than they are songs. Then we have I Love Her Again, which is an amazing song. I Love Her Again is such a good song, because when I first listened to it, I was like, I know J. Cole ain't cheating on his wife. Like, what's he talking about? Like, what? And so I looked it up, because, you know, sometimes you got to look up these things. I'm not a musical genius. I know musicality, yes. I like listening to beats and, you know, listening to intricate things in the song, you know, trying to break down the lyrics. But sometimes I don't know what they be talking about. And so I was like, I know J. Cole didn't cheat. So I looked it up, and they were talking about his love for music. And I said, now let me go back and listen to this song and listen to everything he's saying, and how he's making the comparison of music to a woman. And oh my, this man is a genius. This man, because when I listened to it from the perspective of him talking about music, everything made sense. Everything he said just made sense. Oh my gosh. Huge recommend. This is a story song too, but it's a story about Cole and how he had to fall in love with music again to even, you know, make the fall off, because I remember seeing him in an interview saying how he was irritated at making the fall off at one point, but now that he's made it, he's proud of his work. He's not as irritated about it. He's really proud of it. So yeah, I Love Her Again is one of them songs, bro. It made me want to write my own little ode to music, because it's like how I felt, you know. He perfectly describes what uh, music does to people, and how it treats you like it's the only person, like you're the only person for them, and how they're the only person for you. But as you get older, sometimes your love for music dwindles, or the need or want to listen to it also dwindles. And so you're just stuck in a place where you battling, you know, and that's where he's at with this record. The next record after that is What If. Let me tell you, everybody needs to go listen to What If. Please, What If is a storytelling song. I don't even want to spoil What If is about. Like, I don't want to spoil it. So I just suggest you go listen to What If, because honestly, 10 out of 10 top tier song. All right. Then we have Quick Stop, and I love Quick Stop because Quick Stop just shows Cole that he is loved and that he needs to stay in his craft. I love how he described how so many people feel about him, all in this one representation. Like, this one man coming up to him and saying, "Hey, I love you so much." And Cole was like, his love for me was so genuine. I forgot how it felt. I forgot that this is how people see me. And I love that, because I do love Cole, and I would be the same way. Next, we have The Whole World Is the Ville. FAYETTEVI FAYETTEVI. I love that song. I mean, I really do feel like I'm from Fayetteville. I really do, but honestly, I'm from Atlanta, so let me chill. But he just describes how he made it out of a place where people don't usually make it out of. He says, like, the whole world is the Ville. He sees the whole world as the Ville. The whole world has struggles. The whole world is going through things, and you can get out of whatever situation if you just think about it and, you know, strive for that goal. You can get out of whatever mindset or whatever place you are. And I love how he always directs it back to the Ville. He's like, I'm J.Cole, yes, but I would not be J.Cole without the Ville. And then the last song is called Ocean Way. It's about his wife again. I love that. My man J.Cole said, you gonna hear about her. Ocean Way, I think, just shows that J. Cole really does love his wife. And I think love did something to him. Love and support, that kind of love and support did something to him. It really changed the way he saw himself in the world. Honestly, I also think it made him fall in love with music again. I believe that his love for his wife kind of spills over into his music a lot, and I love that for him. Honestly, the album is a 1/900 billion. 1/900 billion is insane. But I think the album is so freaking good. It's so good. It's really a storybook. It really is. Like, I love Cole so much, and I thank him so much for making this album. Oh my gosh, he literally gave me something to talk about. Like, I have been wanting to talk about J. Cole's album to anybody that'll listen to it, honestly. And it's because I'm so many months late that I'm now getting caught up on everything. But his album literally is the best. And I understand that Drake's album is out right now, but I'm too busy on Cole. I'm still on Cole. Like, I am on him. Like, I cannot get off of this man. I listen to this album every day in some shape, form, or fashion. I got a song in my head right now. The 39 intro is stuck in my head. I done played it like 500 times today, honestly. I've been replaying it so many times. Like 39 intro is today's song of the day, honestly. A couple of days ago, it was Who the F is You? It's like, I I don't know, man. J.Cole really just put out an amazing body of work, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate y'all. Y'all are literally so amazing. Honestly, this is coming back after a long hiatus, and I thank you so much for rocking with your girl. Please don't forget to follow all of my socials. I also now have a gaming channel, so don't forget to follow that as well. Again, I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later. Bye.